Aaron Rodgers gets into it with a Rams coach during the game. We're going to talk about what it is he said from Aaron Rodgers himself. He brought it up on the Pat McAfee show this week, so we're going to discuss what it was they were talking about, yelling at each other on the sideline. We're also going to get into a quick injury update, injury report from Sean McVay himself, as well as Sean McVay giving the defense a little bit of credit for what they did on Sunday in the matchup versus the New York Jets. All on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Josh Rehdon. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor and press that subscribe button right now, as 89.9% of you guys still are not subscribed to the channel. We really appreciate the ones who are, 10.1%. We appreciate it, but we're still trying to grow to 2,000 subscribers here at the Rams Digest. But also, if you hit the subscribe button, it lets us know that you want more daily Rams content, and kind of motivates me a little bit to post more daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. But let's get into this, right? Aaron Rodgers, what did he say? What did Aaron Rodgers say? What was he yelling? I don't know if you guys were paying attention during this moment here of the game. A flag was thrown, second quarter, about 2 minutes left in a 6-6 game. Aaron Rodgers, he kind of gets into it with a coach, and we're going to pull up nothing here, apparently. No, we're going to pull up this story here. Aaron Rodgers sets records straight on his back and forth with the Rams coach during Sunday's game, and obviously kind of giving us a little bit of a sneak peek, right? Anybody who wants to set a record straight wants to make sure, hey, let me get ahead of this. I heard a couple rumors about maybe people saying that I wasn't happy with this coach, or we're yelling back and forth and we were talking trash. Let's set the record straight here for a second. Aaron Rodgers actually was, in this moment, not necessarily just screaming at this coach. And I kind of noticed it when I watched the game live. It didn't, to me, look like Aaron Rodgers was mad. He actually was kind of smiling, pointing a finger. I think when you point fingers at somebody, it kind of feels a little disrespectful, right? But they were both pointing fingers at each other. For those who don't know, this coach right here at the bottom right corner is actually Aubrey Pleasant. He is the assistant head coach for the Los Angeles Rams, but he was coaching when Aaron Rodgers was back in Green Bay. So they do have a relationship, so that's definitely important to note here to figure out what it was that was happening in this moment. If you just look at the live broadcast, it looked a little intense, if I'm being honest. But if you really focus on Aaron Rodgers' face, he looked like he was smiling a little bit, at least smirking a little bit, so nothing too serious. And here's what he had to say about it. He said I'm talking about Aubrey Pleasant here, he was on the sideline for them, and there was some back and forth during the game. Some of the moments in the game, obviously, he was in the room in Green Bay, and I was telling him to not to tell any of my effing secrets, and that I changed all the signals and a bunch of stuff. We were having a nice back and forth. And that was it, right? And I just wanted to kind of acknowledge it for anybody who noticed, maybe said, hey, what happened there? What are they yelling? What are they screaming? Really just a nice friendly banter, probably between a couple of former colleagues, essentially. I guess they're still colleagues now, but, former teammates, if you will, right? Aubrey Pleasant, again, being a part of the coaching staff in Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers was there. He actually continues in the conversation. Aaron Rodgers said that Aubrey Pleasant was so close with Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, that he actually allowed Aubrey Pleasant to sit in on the quarterback meetings, which is not like there's every single coach in those meetings at all times, but Aubrey Pleasant was one of those coaches in the quarterback room pretty often, he said, back in Green Bay. So, again, friendly banter. It's like seeing some old coworkers, out somewhere. You want to kind of joke and just kind of make some joke, poke fun at each other. And I think it's pretty cool to see a human moment, right, in the middle of an NFL game. I think it's always pretty cool to see. So nothing crazy there. For anyone who was curious or anyone reporting anything serious, there was nothing serious there. Just a friendly banter between a former coach and quarterback kind of relationship. Moving on from that, some bumps and bruises, as you guys caught me kind of getting ready to read some stuff here. Bumps and bruises, right? Obviously, talking about the Rams injury update, we're going to discuss a little bit of a breakdown of any kind of injuries to note. And I think it definitely is important to note here that Sean McVay is positive about the news injury update coming out of the Jets game. And I think, I talked about this a couple of episodes ago, as I keep forgetting to change the screenshots. A couple of episodes ago, I was discussing that at this point in the season, every team wants all hands on deck, but the Los Angeles Rams are in a specific situation where, again, the talent level on the team in general has not been from day one the most talented roster we've ever seen in an NFL season. Okay, I give those extremes because I know the comments are going to come at me of, oh, well, this team is really talented. You're right, there is talent on the Rams roster. Of course, there is talent on the Rams roster. I'm simply saying this isn't a super team that we've incredibly built. That of course we want if one guy goes down, we have a superstar, all-star player to come and fill that role. The Rams have been playing at a extremely, what's the word I'm trying to say here? The Rams have been playing with guys who, if guys go down, they've been having a next man up mentality. But in the beginning of the season, especially on the offensive side of the ball, there really wasn't that much production happening, right? You go 1-4. Clearly, you need to make sure your guys are as healthy as possible, because when you have big time injuries, the Rams were not in a position to overcome those injuries early in the season. Now we're at a point where they've been playing really well, getting healthier at the right time, and it's been really positive and showing it on the field. They're winning games. So you don't want to see any injuries from any team, right, in the NFL, but specifically the Rams are in a situation where they almost need all hands on deck to compete for a Super Bowl if that's what they want to do, which is what they're going to do, right, making the playoffs, winning the NFC West, hopefully, if they can get the job done moving forward. So, of course, you want all hands on deck, right? So, all hands on deck. Sean McVay is saying, I think we're good. It's talking about, their situation health-wise. I think we're good. We will have our typical bumps and bruises, but it seemed like everyone came out pretty clean. I don't expect that to affect anybody's status moving forward, which is a blessing. And he's right? It truly is a blessing. Again, at this point in the season, you expect ankle twists and, knees twisting. And sometimes I'm watching the game and I'm like, that would have hurt me. I would have retired on that hit. I would have not been able to continue to play after that. But these NFL guys keep pushing through. Bumps and bruises is a given, right? You're getting bumps and bruises every single game. But the major injuries, of course, is what you're trying to avoid. But even the little ones, right? The ankle twist, the kind of AC shoulder, joint strains or whatever, the sore knee, the pulled hamstring, right? All those injuries that can happen at any given play, you're obviously wanting to avoid those. And the Rams are in a pretty great spot right now in terms of injuries, as they came out of that game clean. Again, we talked about we got 2 weeks left in the season. They want to finish the season strong, but also finish the season as healthy as possible, as every team does, because if the Rams can be a fully healthy team, we talked about this over and over again, they will not be a team that people want to see in the playoffs. So good news so far, and hopefully that continues to be the case moving forward for the rest of the season. Last bit of news here, Rams defense. I think we just want to kind of acknowledge a quote here from Sean McVay of him kind of giving the Rams defense a little bit of credit here, and I'll pull it up for you guys now, or at least pull the story for you guys now, how the Rams defense turned it around in Week 16. Now, they say turn it around here, but you do got to give them a little bit of credit of the San Francisco 49ers game, right? The Rams did look pretty good in the 49ers game. They held the 49ers to, as I already have this screenshot pulled up, the Rams held the San Francisco 49ers to 6 points. So you give them credit from last week too, but they are kind of turning things around a little bit, right? And we talked about this with their rankings before the Jets game. The Rams defense is not the most highly ranked defense out there in the league, but they are playing pretty well when it matters most. They're making the plays when it matters most, and I think those are the important things here. And here's what Sean McVay had to say about the situation here with the Rams defense. He says, it is kind of one of those games, talking about the game, of course, and the way kind of it was structured. And then it felt like the offense did not see the ball for a long time. Talking about the Rams offense, right? The Jets kind of had a lot of time of possession for a while. Long time because of the way they held it at the end of the half and the beginning of the third quarter. To only have 3 points was huge. I thought our defense came up with some critical fourth down stops. And that is the case. We went over the general stats last episode. The Jets actually went for it 5 times on fourth down and only converted 2 of the fourth down conversions that they attempted. So, and they're also, I think, 5 for 13 in terms of third down conversions. So the Los Angeles Rams defense were doing a great job of putting some pressure on Aaron Rodgers again and just really doing exactly what we needed them to do. Slow down Breece Hall. Don't allow them to get any rhythm in the run game. Force Aaron Rodgers to just constantly go to Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson and limit those guys' production. And for the most part, overall, the Rams did just that. Had a great game overall. Again, kudos to the Rams and the Rams defense. They are playing well. Take on Arizona. Take on Seattle. Let's get this division win. Let's win the division and move on to the playoffs and go on this deep playoff run. You guys let me know how you guys feel about the updates, how you guys feel about the Aaron Rodgers story, whatever it is. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Josh Wahidon, and I am out.